You're tired of looking at me? Let's see if I can turn the camera around. No. Here we go. All right, well, there's one person watching. Thank you for tuning in. We are in Utah at a town in the south. We call it Hurricane, but here in Utah, they call it Hurricane. And I figured after being on the road, going on our third full week, I have thought I would attempt to do a live video. Here I am again. It's probably about, let's see, 10 minutes to 8 here, 95 degrees, and the sun is bright as all get out. We have been on in, let's see, Bryce Canyon today. Looking at rocks. For the last several days, we have looked at a lot of rocks. I don't know. Remember to guard your, let's say, learn more. I shouldn't have done that. If anybody's chatting, say hello. Maybe I can see when it pops up. Maybe I can press this button. What happens? You know, listen, I don't know what I'm doing, but I primarily wanted to come on here and tell you about what happened to us 3 or 4 days ago. We were driving, and listen, some of the stuff that we've been doing, we are in the middle of nowhere. And when I'm telling you in the middle of nowhere, we were on the road a few days ago, and we saw a sign that said no service next 100 miles. And when they say no service, they mean no service. They mean, you know, cell service. There's no gas stations. There's nowhere to go to the bathroom. There ain't nothing. So anyway, we're headed to a place called Capitol Reef National Park. And we get to a little place, which is a little crossroads. There's a couple little eateries there. There is, if you guys are saying something in the chat, I can't see it. I don't know where, oh shoot, I see it now. Hey, let's see if you ask any questions. Ryan and Angie, thank y'all. Anyway, get back to my story. As I said, we are in the middle of nowhere. We go to a little town named Hanksville. I think that was it. And there's a gas station built in the side of a mountain. It's like a gas station in a cave. And there's a little place to eat called the Dukes, and it's got a lot of John Wayne stuff inside. So we order, and I pay for it with my credit card. Now on this trip, I try to pay for everything with one particular credit card. That way I can keep up with it as to what's tax deductible and what's not. So anyhow, I pay for it with my credit card, and then we head to Capitol Reef National Park. It is about an 1.5 to 2 hour drive. Long, twisting, turning road. No cell service at all. I'm saying no, none. And so we're driving, and we get to the Capitol Reef, and we stop, and we do a couple little short hikes, you know, maybe 100 yards or whatever. And there's a few things to look at. We take some pictures, and I make video. And then we eventually get to a visitor center. Now, a lot of national parks, they require you to pay an admission to get in, but we have America the Beautiful Pass, and we paid like 80 bucks for it, so we can get into all national parks free now, lifetime. That's for us. So anyway, Debbie goes inside to see if she can get cell service, so she can download an app that's called I think it's called Guide On or Ride On app, where they tell you where you're at and what you're looking at. Pretty neat thing. We'll explain that more in another video. Well, anyway, she goes inside this visitor center. There's no service in there. I said, I'll try to find somewhere to park. Well, I go in my pocket, and I have these very shorts on right here. Let me show you. Let me switch this phone so you can see what I'm doing. Let me see. Switch. Okay. I have these very shorts on right here. And You see right there, there's a pocket here. Well, I kind of put my wallet and put it in my pocket. Here it is here, I'll show you. I dig it out. There's my wallet right there. It's got all my credit cards in it. It's got my driver's license. Now, we flew to Las Vegas 2.5 weeks ago. To fly, you got to have an ID. I have all that stuff. It's all in my wallet. So we get out there in the middle of cotton picking nowhere. I go to get my America the Beautiful pass, and I fill my pocket, and my wallet's gone. Listen, all the color left my face. I was Snow White. My heart starts pounding. I'm shaking all over. I mean, my hands are doing like that all over. And I get out of the car, and I walk over to where Debbie's at, and I tell her, we got major problems. And she said, what's the matter? And I tell her, I said, I've lost my wallet. I think she lost it. She said, what? And she said, you do this all the time. And yeah, I don't lose my wallet. I just forget where I put it. You know, but I've been doing better. I kind of put it in my front pocket. I don't put it in my back pocket because it'll fall out. So I put it in my front pocket. So anyway, I'm feeling my pockets. I can't find it. She gets back to the car. We're going all through the car. I said, Debbie, there's no way it's in this car. I said, after I paid for the meal, I remember putting it on the table, and then I think I put it in my pocket, but I don't know. And she said, what are we going to do? Well, you can't call a restaurant because there's no cell service. So we drive 1.5, 2 hours on these twisty, turning roads back to where this restaurant was that we ate at. She's trying to call. When we get about maybe a mile from that restaurant, we finally get cell service again. And she calls, they hadn't seen it. I said, oh no. I said, well, maybe they just can't look. And she said, if I find it, I'll call you. And she asked for our number. We gave it to her. I said, well, I'll be there in 2 minutes. So about the time we got off the phone, I pulled up and went inside. No wallet. They looked where we sat. They asked the bus boy. Nobody's seen it. I go outside. I'm about in tears. Debbie's about in tears. What are we going to do? Listen, this is pretty serious. My heart's pounding. I'm shaking all over. She's about to cry. She's getting upset with me. And I said, I can't help it. I'm sorry. I said, don't get mad at me. I said, because I'm not going to have it. I'm about to freaking lose it. So, anyway, I just about lost it all. And this is where it really gets good. Now, I have done everything except take my pants off and turn them inside out. Well, I'm reaching down here, and I'm feeling down here. I'm feeling here. I'm feeling my back. And I feel this pocket. Look at this pants here. They have these pockets right here, down here on the bottom. I felt, and right down there next to my knee, I find my wallet. I find my wallet. And Debbie says, I'm going to kill you. And I believe if she'd had a knife or a stick in her hand, I'd have been the recipient of it. I'm telling you. It's funny now, but it wasn't funny then. It was in my pocket the whole time. I swear I felt it. But I put it in I'm used to wearing it, putting it in my top pocket. But for some reason, I put it down on my thigh. And that's where it was the whole time. So now, we're all paranoid about this thing. So every time we walk out of the motel room, every time I go to the bathroom, every time I eat, Debbie says, where's your wallet? Where's your phone? Do you have the keys? It's funny now, but it wasn't funny at all then. Oh, man. So I might have to get better at that. This has been a long, exhausting trip because we have been going from sun up to sundown. We don't plan in advance where we're going to be spending the night. I don't want to have to be on a time schedule like, I need to hurry up and see this so we can get to the next thing. You know, if you're somewhere and you want to take in the beauty of something, then you do it. And then when it's ready to move on, we move on. And when we're going from one place to the next, whenever we get cell service, we'll go on the internet and we'll try to find somewhere that her and I both can agree on to stay. She's not staying in a Fleabag hotel. They have to have a very good or an excellent rating. She always checks that. And then we go on to booking.com or Expedia and book a room. We have done our best to stay off of interstates. We love to travel on back roads, so we've been doing a lot of back roads, a lot of scenic drives. Yesterday, which was Sunday, we got to see a performance from the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Over 300 members sing, over 100 members play in the orchestra, and it was flawless. Really good. They can sing, and it was good. It was their Memorial Day performance, so it was mostly patriotic songs. Lasted about 30 minutes. Was really good. Those guys really have it on. Anyway, I wanted to come on and talk about this. I thought it was pretty. It's worth sharing. There may be some videos that it looks like I'm about to die, and that's because I was recuperating from that. In fact, I think at the end of one of the videos, I said, "Well, I'll explain things later." It was an experience. So people often ask, well, when you're traveling, what kind of food do you eat? Are you trying out any good food? Frankly, we hadn't found any. One night we had Burger King. That's always a big thing with me and Debbie. We really don't care. I don't see. It doesn't make sense for me to spend a fortune on eating something. She eats about as much as you can hold in the hand, so a lot of times she'll eat off my plate, and it's okay. We had Mexican tonight. That was a treat. It was real Mexican. Everybody in there spoke Mexican, and even the customers, they were all Mexican. So I figured, listen, they know where to go to get some good stuff. So it was good. Tomorrow we're going, like I said, we're going to Zion National Park. I hear it's pretty cool. We'll see how that goes. I've got a video coming up soon. I've got to edit it. It may be a week or so. I've probably so far shot about 50 different videos, but I only do 2 a week. So it's kind of like Yellowstone. If you follow Yellowstone, you have to wait 6 months to a year to see an episode because they film it all in a couple 3 weeks. And that's kind of what I do. But we done something. It's been on my bucket list for many, many years. I wanted to ride a horse in Monument Valley. A lot of westerns, a lot of Clint Eastwood stuff, a lot of John Wayne stuff has been filmed in Monument Valley. In fact, I think even the western version of Back to the Future, some of that was filmed in Monument Valley. Well, we went, and Debbie told me, she said, if you want to ride a horse in Monument Valley, knock yourself out, Bubba. But don't ask me to do it. I'll sit in the car. She said, but I don't want you to not do something you want to do. So she's really great and let me do what I want to do within reason, as long as it's not super stupid. So anyway, we go to this place in Monument Valley, and I get the phone number at the corral there, and I call the lady and tell her that I want to ride a horse. And she said, how long? And she has different things. I said 1 hour. And so I get back in the car, and I told Debbie, okay, we're booked. And she said, well, I think I may want to try that. So I called the lady back and said, add my wife on it. And I told her, I said, look, they have steps. It's just like you can walk up these steps and just throw your leg over the horse. You don't have to pull yourself up on the horse. And that's what she was all freaked out about. And when I told her the steps, she said, yeah, I think I can do that. Well, the next day we went at the appropriate time, and we both got on the horse. She went up the steps, got on the horse, and it worked right. And all these things you don't even have to know nothing about a horse. The horse is smarter than you are, It's nose to butt. The horse walks in a rut, follows the horse in front of him. He turns when he's supposed to turn. He stops when he's supposed to stop. And that's kind of the way it was. So it worked out good. And I've got some good video of both of us walking across. But the funny thing was is when she tried to get off the horse. Getting on the steps and getting off is one thing, but getting off is a little different. She couldn't quite get it figured out. So it's kind of funny. So I know y'all enjoy that video when it comes out. Well, anyhow, I have jibber-jabbered long enough, and I want to thank all of y'all for watching and commenting. I really appreciate it. Y'all, as usual, y'all be sure to like, subscribe, and share. But for now, y'all have a good day. And if I can figure out how to turn this phone off, I'll be doing good. I think this X here.